Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Can't wait to get into the start of this weekend's house calls. This is episode 3536 of the Cabral Concept. If you want to tune in, follow along with all of the community questions, you can certainly do so at stephencabral.com/3536. No fancy URLs, just myname.com with Stephen with the PH. And then the show number. All right, so on the weekends, we answer all things community questions, anything that's written in at stephencabral.com/askcabral. If it is wellness and health and high performance health, longevity, you name it, we're gonna answer it and it will be unedited. So first question here today is from BM. BM says, hi, Dr. Cabral, I'm a 40-year-old male. Big five I did, found out I had wheat and eggs sensitivity. Let's see what else. Yeast was normal. Omega-3s was 11%. Let's see what else. Elevated mercury and aluminum on the hair tissue mineral analysis. On the Candida metabolic vitamins test, there was some Candida overgrowth. Let's see what else. Now, in January to July, you did a 7-day detox. You did the CBO protocol for the gut. You did CBO finisher to heal and seal the gut. Eliminated the food sensitivities. Has not done the heavy metal detox. Didn't do heavy metals. Okay, no problem. In August, let's see what else. Moderate yeast, working with EcoLife Coach. Your podcast suggests this is leaky gut. EL Wellness Plan in August was 7-day detox. Sorry, this is all written in shorthand, so I can usually read the English language, but this is just all shorthand. But I can still read it. It's okay. I just apologize for reading it this way. But again, I don't do any prep for the show, so this individual just kind of goes on to share what they're doing, what they have. Am I on the right path? Is this leaky gut? Okay, so the best thing to understand is that our EcoLife coaches, on average, are 10-year health industry veterans, meaning like they've been doing this for at least a decade. All of them are full-time for our EcoLife coaches. They've seen thousands of cases individually. So you're in good hands. Whatever they are sharing with you, they are trained on exactly what I do. But they have their own knowledge as well. Many are dietitians and all sorts of great backgrounds. So here's what I want to share with you. From the labs that you shared with me, if someone comes in with just a couple of food sensitivities and they have moderate growth on the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, I'm going to look at it as this doesn't seem like a big case. I will do the CBO protocol. I will do the CBO finisher. If I run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test again, also called the OAT test, and there is mild Candida still left, I will ask, okay, how much is really there? Is it still mild? Could it be mold-based? Because these markers can overlap. Aspergillus, yeast, fungus, they're all kind of part of the same family. They're just cousins. And so we want to understand that as then we might move to the mold protocol, right? We will work on the gut, especially if there's no bloating or gas or anything like that. And again, this is 90% of the time, but 10% you might have a little bit of gas sometimes. Okay, so now we're moving on to the mold protocol. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. You haven't done the heavy metal detox. It would be great to move on to that as well, especially since you had elevated mercury and aluminum. But I'll tell you this, not a lot of food sensitivities, very little showing up maybe on the first page of your OAT test. You're probably doing better than maybe even you think. Listen to your EcoLife coach. They know what they are doing. All right. Next up is from Lisa. Lisa says, can you recommend what to do or take if I experience abdominal pain or discomfort while vacation in Europe later this fall? I'm concerned that this access to the right foods might be tough while on a cruise and touring. Currently, I'm in the last month of my CBO protocol, and I've completed the 14-day detox and 7-day intestinal cleanse. All will be completed before my Europe trip. Thank you, Lisa. Happy to help, Lisa. So, 2 products you'll bring with you is the daily digestive enzymes and the gluten and dairy support. Okay, so whenever you're enjoying yourself and you have a nice, what would be over in Europe, croissant, you could have maybe some crepes, you could have some gelato, like all these delicious things, right? Okay, you'll just take 1 or 2 of the gluten and dairy support before those items I named, your regular regular digestive enzymes. Try to keep your meals to the 3 times per day. Even when I go to a place like Europe, not everybody's willing to do this, but I do my DNS Shake. I just do a normal breakfast with some fruit. I just keep it simple. I don't need to go out every morning and have pastries, right? So it's like, but some people might want to. I totally get it. Enjoy yourself for a week if that's what you want to do. I got to understand. But I don't like to do 24 hours a day of essentially flex meals. Some people might call them cheat meals. It's just 24 hours a day off my diet. I don't like to do that because I'm just going to feel inflamed. And it's not how I want to feel. I want to feel great when I wake up on vacation. I want to have lots of energy. So what I'll do is I will enjoy myself when I want to. My family and I are out in Europe and we want a gelato, we'll have a gelato. That's how I look at it. But I'm just not going to go 24/7. So that's how I look at it. Okay. Another part of it is that let's say you don't typically have wine and all these nice things, you'll bring the universal binder with you. And the universal binder, take it before any big cheat meal or alcohol, just before you head out to dinner, and it'll be in your digestive system and it will help to better absorb these toxins. The nice thing about Europe is usually there are less pesticides, there are less sulfates, so you're going to be doing much better typically there. So again, I don't want to overcomplicate this, but I bring my regular vitamins and minerals when I travel, and then I just enjoy myself a little bit. The goal is not to, for me, blow it out with all foods, but it's to say, yeah, I want to enjoy myself, I want to enjoy the sights, and I'm going to keep everything. I don't believe in this whole thing we call moderation, but I want to stay fairly balanced. All right. So that's what I would do, but that's me. All right. We'll move on. Susie's up next. Hi, Dr. Brawl. My minerals and metals test showed that my zinc is optimal and copper is very low, even after supplementing with zinc and copper and the DNS for 3 months. But I've noticed that copper is usually not recommended on its own by an IHP. However, I've heard some practitioners say that zinc can inhibit proper copper absorption, or at least take longer to get optimal levels if taken with zinc. What are your thoughts on that? Or is it possible to get much zinc if I keep taking these together? Yeah, happy to help. So, Susie, again, this is just me stating facts. We run more minerals and metals tests than any company in the entire world. So we just means that we have more data. That's all that I want to share. That's why I want to say that. So what I can tell you is from real world practice, people usually are able to increase their copper levels. So they take the daily nutritional support, which is 15 milligrams of zinc and 1 milligram of copper. That's perfect ratio. And then they add the balanced zinc if their copper is also low. So they get 15 more milligrams of zinc and they get 1 more milligram of copper. And that's usually great. So they have 30 milligrams of zinc for the day and they have 2 milligrams of copper. Before I move on, I want to ask you, are you taking other nutritional supplements that may also contain zinc? That's really important because if you are trying to raise copper, we're trying to maintain the 15-to-1 ratio. But if you're taking another product and there's 25 more milligrams of zinc, well, now you're missing more copper. So just check to see, okay, is that happening? Yes or no? If the answer is no, that's not happening, totally understand. Everyone can, so most people who come in just don't get enough copper in their diet. That's the bottom line. They get zinc, but they don't get copper. So that's why we can use the DNS and the balanced zinc, because really what they need is just more more copper in their diet and or nutritional supplements. But just like you did, if you're doing that and you weren't able to raise your copper levels, although you just need to make sure that there's 6 months in between your minerals and metals test, because not only do you need to follow the protocol for 12 weeks, you need to let your hair grow out for 12 weeks, right? So that's important to look at that. But let's say you've done all those things. That is when it is appropriate for the 1 out of a couple hundred people that might need to supplement with copper specifically. We still don't want to do high dose copper, but for 12 weeks, you might get rid of the zinc and add 1 or 2 milligrams of copper. No problem at all. Ayurveda did the same thing. They actually had people drink out of a copper pitcher. So all of these things are totally okay. Just follow what typically works. 99.5% of the time. And then if you're the 0.5%, well, there's always a reason that we can then give you as to why you might just need copper on its own. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. Bettina's up next. Bettina says, hi, Dr. Brawl. My husband recently purchased a testosterone supplement he came across, probably via Instagram. And I wanted to ask your opinion on the ingredients. Magnesium oxide, ginseng, murapuama extract. I don't know if that's exactly what that word is, but let's go with it. Fenugreek and certain fillers. We have got zinc citrate. Let's see what else. Some stabilizers you wrote, some vitamin D3 and some B6 along with a little black pepper extract. Okay, got it. Totally understand. So we got B6, we get D3, we've got ginseng, we've got fenugreek, and we've got zinc if I didn't already name that. Okay, so Yeah, those are all excellent. I have no idea what the dosages are because remember, supplements sometimes put in what we call like a little bit of pixie dust. It's just a little dust out there to say that the product is on the label, but it doesn't really have any dosage. For example, 3 milligrams of zinc, not going to move the needle. Let's give you another one. Maybe 500 IUs of vitamin D3 for an adult, not going to move the needle. Vitamin B6, you actually don't need a lot of B6. Even just 10 milligrams would be pretty good just to add to extras. Nothing wrong with that ginseng, nothing wrong with the fenugreek. I think that's a great one, but there are much better products out there. So like nothing wrong with this product, but it's not a complete natural testosterone booster. We use a product called Daily Male Support. It has these, but it also has vitamin C, which is absolutely crucial, and 400 milligrams plus. It has tribulus in there. It has Tongat Ali. It's got maca. It has horny goat weed. Like it has all the things for testosterone boosting naturally, libido, and much more. So use the product if you want. Then I would say use the Daily Male Support, and that's at stephencabral.com/shop. And if you don't want to use the product at Equilife, I have no problem with that. You can just look at the ingredients and you can find another comparable product. All right. Hopefully that was helpful, Bettina. But again, I don't see any issues with that product. I just have no idea what the dosages are. And I don't know if the company does any third-party testing, et cetera. I don't love that there's polyethylene glycol in it, but that's not the end of the world. All right, Svetlana is up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. After reading your book and listening to your podcast, I've made many positive changes to my lifestyle. One of them is taking the daily nutritional support powder for breakfast. I'm losing weight now, which is desired, but it takes me very long to finish the shake, and I'm wondering if that's not a good thing in the long run since it keeps my insulin levels up without a break to my digestive system until lunch. It makes me feel very full. Sometimes I can't finish it until noon when I started it about 8:30 a.m. At lunchtime, I'm still feeling full and skipping lunch and eating supper at 5, no food after 7. I only put in about 13 ounces of coconut water or coconut milk mixed with water, 1 teaspoon of chia seeds, small handful of aronia berries, and about 1/4 cup of cauliflower in it. I used to eat 3 large meals and many snacks before. Okay. Well, happy to help. So I don't know your specific goals, but let's just say that we can ad lib just a little bit here. Let's say you want to lose another 10 pounds. Okay. I have no problem with you kind of staying on this plan, maybe even doing a 7-day detox if you haven't done that before, or the 21-day, lose the rest of the weight that you want to, and then we're going to move you into a plan that we can kind of keep for the foreseeable future. If someone can't finish their shake in the morning, the volume of the shake is too much, or it's too cold, or there's something in it that is just kind of it's filling up the stomach. I just want to go, before I get to that, we don't know if it's raising your insulin levels. It's a very low glycemic shake. The only way to know if your insulin levels are elevated is I guess you could wear a continuous glucose monitor. That's one to see if your blood sugar raised, and then you assume your insulin levels follow with it. Or you can run the stress mood and metabolism test and actually look at your hemoglobin A1C and insulin. That's always possible as well. But let's just say that let's just say we want to get in lunch anyways. Okay, I agree. I think that you should finish that shake over an hour. I think you should drink it from 8:30 to 9:30, like most of our clients do. So is 13 ounces of coconut water too much? No, I don't think so at all. So that's probably not it. But here's what we want to do. The day one, you're going to do 13 ounces of coconut water, and you're going to do your chocolate DNS or your vanilla DNS, and just shake it up. That's it. Just literally shake it up. Don't blend it because it could be the air that people kind of get into the smoothie. Let's just shake it with coconut water. It blends instantly, 30 seconds, just shake it. It's done. And just drink that. Drink it over the course of an hour. Do you feel full just from that? Like that's the goal. You're probably not going to, right? And you say, yeah, I still do. All right, let's take it down to like 10 ounces. Do you still feel full from 10 ounces and the shake? And you're probably not going to. So let's move on to the next one. So then we've got to blend it because the chia seeds need to be blended, right? Or I wouldn't go to chia seeds next. I would just go to the aronia berries or wild blueberries, whatever you want. So you've got coconut water, you've got your aronia berries, and you've got your DNS. You blend those up, you make a nice little smoothie, make sure it's just not all air, that it's liquid, and then you drink that over the course of an hour or see if you can. Do you feel okay? You're probably going to feel okay. All right, so that's good. So now the issue is, again, we're testing variables. That is how we're able to figure things out in our practice when other practices don't. And I'm not being condescending to any other practitioner or practitioners or practices. Definitely to conventional medicine I am, because they don't do this. But we take the time to work with the client to know how to help them best, right? And this is just variables. Everything is figure outable, like literally everything. So then next, what do? We add the chia seeds. Okay, blend up those chia seeds with don't change any other variables. Can you consume that? Yeah, you're actually, no problem. There's no issue with the chia seeds, or there is a problem. Now you know it was the chia seeds. Okay, but let's say the chia seeds were no problem. Now we add in that 4th cup cauliflower. I'm assuming it's cooked. If it's not cooked, that could be one of the issues. Okay, so you blend that up. You're like, oh, that is what makes me really full. Now we know it was the cauliflower. So by process of elimination, we're going to know what it is, because I'm almost guaranteeing you it's not the water or the coconut water and the shake. If it is, okay, now let's make the variable even easier. Let's just use straight spring water or water, whatever water you want, and your 2 scoops of the DNS, shake it up, drink it. Does that make you too full? No? Okay, then it was the coconut water. So remember, and then if it does, you say, okay, then it's the DNS, right? That would be very unlikely, but it's always possible. You never know, right? And so that's how we test for these variables. Hopefully that was helpful. But again, that's the way they're able to figure all of these things out. Is it like a little bit tedious, a little bit of a pain? Well, I mean, over the course of 5 days, you'd have it figured out. But now, like you might say, I don't want to wait 5 days, but you've now figured it out for the rest of your life, right? Or until the next thing pops up. So you have to understand is that take your time, get it right, and you will be able to then have a plan that works for you. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.